Pro boxing fans, we are here in London. It is fight week. Usyk Dubois with me, Michael Hunter. Michael, first of all, pleasure seeing you. It's good seeing you because, like I said to you off camera, there's a heavyweight wave going on, and it would be good for you to get in the mix, and you're going to be in the mix. How are you, sir? How's things?
Oh, good. I can't complain. You know exactly that's why I'm here. I'm trying to put my hat in the mix and see what we can come out of. You know, hopefully I see Fabio Worley because that's one of my future opponents. According to the WBA, mandatory. So, you know, we're here to stir up some things for sure. A lot of these guys, well, they either try to be my friend or, befriend me or something. So we're here to just, put some noise in the air.
Talking about putting noise in there, there's obviously that fight with Pulv. Just talk to me about the latest with that fight. I know they were supposed to be at the end of August, but has that been changed, the date?
It hasn't officially been changed, but you know how the boxing goes. Usually the first date usually gets pushed back 9 times out of 10 anyway. So I think that it will be pushed back, but not too much longer because the WBA has mandates and they want to try to make this tournament before the year's up. They're trying to get the tournament done. I think they want to make sure that they have a champion if Usyk continues to fight, because the WBA mandatory for the heavyweights I think they're in line next.
Let's talk about this fight. Oleksandr Usyk, you've been in there with the great man himself who's done, unexpected, not even unexpected. A lot of people thought, look, he'd do well at heavyweight, but wouldn't expect him to become undisputed, and he has done that at 2 divisions now. Did you anticipate him to get this far and become undisputed after you faced him?
Yeah. Actually, he's had a lot of help, a lot of people and fans behind him. When you have a good, great fighter, and you have a good, great team behind you, and somebody who sees the vision, it's very, very easy to become, a champion. A lot of this has a lot to do with the money in business. So, not to take discredit from him being a fighter or anything, but paths are what they are. They're all different in boxing. So, I do think that he won the gold medal, and everything is going as planned for him. So, I think he deserves to be there.
I do want to ask you, and you've talked about his team, I want to talk about yourself then in that case. What happened in regards to your situation? Because obviously Michael Hunter, at the time of you facing Usyk, was his name that was going to erupt on and become this big heavyweight. And then unfortunately there's been times where fights got announced, then where they never went through fruition. What happened with yourself?
Yeah, it's been very hard and difficult to get a fight. I've been with Sky Sports, I've been with Eddie Hearn, I was with Triller, Al Heyman, you name it. So I've been around the block. I've always tried to look for the best opportunities for myself. And anytime I get into those companies, they've all had the same problem, that it's very hard to keep me busy, and they're not willing to. They end up facing 2 choices where they either have to invest more in me or kind of shy away, and that's what usually happens. Right now. I was in a time where they had a lot of, pay-per-view buys, and you had to be this and that. Now, right now it's not really about the pay-per-view buys. It's just getting on Riyadh season. And, hopefully we could have an opportunity to do that. With even Fabio Worley, I think that would be a great Riyadh season opener for both of us. So we'll see.
Talk to me about Usyk Dubois too. Do you feel like we're seeing a different Daniel Dubois this time around, and do you feel like he potentially can, stop Oleksandr Usyk or win the belts against Usyk?
I do think we're going to see a slightly different Daniel Dubois because he's getting older, he's getting stronger, he's performed well in his last performances. He's very confidence-based. He has to have a certain set of confidence, but will he be able to hold it and maintain it in the fight? Is where the issue I think lies. But he has a lot of energy and a lot of things going for him. He's fighting at home. He has, it's not going to probably be the same thing where he was fighting. Wasn't he fighting over there? Yeah, in Poland. So I think he had a little bit more of headway and the leaning towards them. But I think that's going to be on Daniel this time. But I do think Tyson Fury, Usyk, because of him winning so consistently and him having to lose in and all that, he also gets a favor. So I think it's going to end up being a close decision by Usyk. I think Daniel's going to do some different things, but Usyk will make the adjustments and I think edge it out by a hair.
When you faced Oleksandr, what was the toughest sort of challenge that you faced in the ring against him?
Well, it's very hard to say because I was, I was like 5-6 pounds under from the night of the fight, from the weigh-ins. If you look at the tail of the tape, I wasn't really, I didn't rehydrate, so it was very hard for me to say. But I know one thing: when in fighting, there's a law in boxing where you box the fighters and fight the boxers. And if a guy's a better boxer than you, you have no choice but to bite down and come to him straight. And if you watch that fight, you see who had to do that. And so I was the boxer in that fight. I know he couldn't outfight me. He only did that because I was, not in the best condition. But him outfighting me wasn't really a case. It was really if he could outbox me. And I did see that, he had a lot of issues with that. So as long as I'm in dog shape, I don't see him beating me.
I do want to talk about Tyson Fury talking about returning in 2026. For you, which fight do you want to see Tyson in? A lot of the British fans want to see him in with Anthony Joshua. Do you want to see the Usyk 3 fight, or do you want to even see him face Daniel Dubois?
Yeah, I think that's the best fight for Daniel Dubois right now. I think Anthony Joshua will be good just because it's been a long hype. I think it won't be as big as it should have been and as it could have been. But boxing, we always do that. We did that with Pacquiao, you know what I'm saying? We never really get the fights when we want them, you know what I'm saying? Even if we end up getting the fight. So I think it would be cool to see, but I think it's more hype and more of a bigger opportunity to have Daniel Dubois versus Tyson Fury. I think
I do want to talk about Anthony Joshua, who's obviously someone on these shows who's done big things for British boxing when he came onto the scene. For you, obviously he's going to come back in October and then fight next year. That fight that talk about next year from Turkey Al-Sheikh is possibly that fight with Tyson Fury. But what do you make of AJ's career to date, and do you feel like that fight would come into fruition next year?
With AJ, with I think, if he wins that fight, that would put him back on. I think Anthony Joshua is, he's still kind of like a working in progress. He has a lot to grow, and it's kind of on a seesaw. Like if he gets mentally strong, then he'll get better. If he just wants to call it quits, then that's what will happen. But I really think that has a lot to do with him. I don't think that as far as physically and his peak and his speed and all that, nothing is went under. I just think that it's all about the mindset. I think that he lost that fight with Daniel Dubois because of his mindset. And I think if he has a better mindset, that he could accomplish and beat any of the guys.
When you spot AJ, because you've obviously been in encounter with him, what did you make of him was he a big physical presence? Did you feel the power? What was he in there?
He is a physical presence. It's just that I was because I have a little bit more experience, he wasn't able to, I guess, put that much pressure on me like that. The presence wasn't as much because of all the trickery that I have. So but for somebody else, if it's like exactly like a Daniel Dubois or somebody that doesn't move or is not as slick, I think that's definitely a problem. He's very strong. He hits hard. He has a good timing. He's not super fast, but he has decent speed. He's an athlete, man. He's big and strong. He looks like an Adonis. Every time I seen him in camp, I just would be like almost jealous, like looking at him, like, look at this big mother. But I just, he looks the part. He's a cool dude. I wish, I think he gets in his head a little bit, in his own head. Like I said, I claim I wish I could train him sometimes, because I think that I could do well with somebody like that. Just as far as training and somebody's mindset, but I'm still my own fighter and I'm trying to win. So
just the final one before I let you go. Big fight in September. in the States, in Las Vegas, Canelo Crawford, man. Talk to me about this one. A lot of people saying, look, the timing might be right to face Canelo. A lot of people saying 2 weight divisions is too big for Crawford. How do you see this fight?
Well, when they say the timing might be right, I mean, Canelo's younger than Terence Crawford, so and he has more experience. And it's not like he's been getting dropped or beat up or anything like that. He's very strong. It's going to be hard to beat that man. Canelo usually gets the nod, just like I was trying to say about Usyk. After you win so many times, you kind of get like a little favorite. You know, like if you lose or if it gets close, then you know they kind of give you a little something. And I feel like Usyk's gotten that. Floyd Mayweather's gotten that a few times. Also, my guy Andre Andre Ward. You know what I'm saying? So I think that, that is what's going to happen in this situation.
I want to ask you, after you faced Oleksandr, did you ever go join him in camp after that?
No. I think that I was just I think I was too much of a problem at that point, and we never really looked at me. He probably looked at me as an opponent. Somebody that I still might be able to fight because I was very competitive. You know what I'm saying? It's not like somebody that I beat and he overthrew me. I still have that edge that I want that back. You know what I'm saying? So I would love to. I mean, it would be cool to be in camp with somebody like that of that high magnitude. I love being in training camps like that and just to learn. So just from a fighter standpoint, you know what I'm saying? But we're still competitors. So.
Michael Hunter, it's a pleasure. So I know you were eating, so I do apologize. I've taken 11 minutes of your time. Listen, good luck with everything. I know boxing is frustrating, and your career has probably shown us how frustrating it is for a fighter. Good luck with everything. Hopefully you get to sort of ride this wave at some point, and we'll see you in the future, man.
I want to thank you, and I really appreciate you even for recognizing that, because it definitely hasn't been an easy road. And, people like you and yourself giving me these opportunities and interviews really helps me out. You know what I'm saying? So thank you.
Michael Hunter, always a pleasure.